Hi, I hope you're well. Um, a lot has been happening in Kenya lately. Are they a coincidence or is it something that was planned? I found myself asking that question. I'm going to record this video for the Josephs out there. These are the group of people who you have a dream, you have a vision, you want to see some things happening, and they're just not happening yet. But you have this massive dream of your country or of your own life, and you have a big belief, and you're just hanging on in there. Well, the reality is that when setbacks come in life, you feel punched, and they punch you with disappointment, and it just drains your confidence, and sometimes it takes you a little while to get up and keep moving on. Sometimes it's just hard to get up and shake off the dust off your feet, off yourself, and keep going forward. But the disappointments are part of life. Sometimes you have to dig your heels in and find out what is really happening. I'm reminded of the story of Joseph. We all know the story of Joseph. He had a coat of many colors. He was loved by his father. He had these big dreams and visions, and then he was sold into Egypt and ended up becoming second in command in Egypt, and he did really well for himself and for his country. And I was thinking about this story, and it got me thinking of all the places that God had prepared, all the events leading to this dream being fulfilled that God had prepared. And I'm going to mention them here just to encourage you that you might not understand everything that is happening, but God has prepared things. God has made things the way they are, and He's up to something. So the first thing was the Midianites. Those are the traders who bought Joseph and took him into Egypt. They could have gone into Egypt any other day apart from that particular day, but God had orchestrated them, had made them to decide to go to Egypt that particular day. So this is the day that his father gives him the sandwiches and say, hey, go and see how your brothers are doing and come back and tell me. So Joseph just does what he does all the time, which is the next best thing. And he goes and tries to find his brothers where they'd said they were going to go, but they were not there. Somebody tells him that they had moved somewhere else. And the funny thing is that where they had moved was exactly on the way of the Midianites traders. They were going to pass by near there. So if they were where they were at first, there's no way they would have met. But God made them to move. And there was also another pit down there that somebody was trying to dig for water, but they didn't really go deep, so they did not get the water. It's like God stopped them midway and said, I've got another purpose for this pit. And that is where they took Joseph, beat him up, threw him in there, and as he waited for the traders to come. And his brother Reuben, the firstborn, was not there when the transaction happened. And he was like, why did you do that? Because he was planning to come and save him and take him back home. So if Reuben was there, there's no way Joseph was going to be sold into Egypt. And then in Potiphar's house as well, Potiphar seems to be a really busy man in the royal household. So he wasn't home most of the time. But this particular day, he had gone to look for a slave. Something happened and he needed more help. And he had gone to the market to look for a slave. Then he meets these traders, the Midianites, and they sell Joseph to him. And Joseph could have gone to any other household, but no. God designed and planned that it was going to be Potiphar's house. And there, he quickly rose up the ranks, and he was the leader of all the slaves. And he caught the eye of Potiphar's wife. God needed a woman who had Potiphar's character to be able to orchestrate this. And well, he ended up making Joseph to be thrown in prison for rape, which was a lie. And Joseph didn't go to just any other prison. No, they took him to the royal house of prison, where all the servants of the king who had messed up were taken. That's where he meets the baker, and he meets the wine guy, and they become friends, and he interprets their dreams, and he gets and he helps them. And 2 years down the line, when the time was right, the baker put a good one in for him, and he got promoted to be second in command in Egypt. And God orchestrated the famine. God gave him gave the dream. God gave the plan. All that was all part of a divinely orchestrated plan. So what's happening in our country right now? It is God's hand is on it. Somebody in Ghana tried to do the same thing, but nothing happened. But it's like God is using lots of people to move things, to do things. Yeah. And speaking to the Josephs, probably you have a situation in your life as well that has been contributed by what is happening in the country, and you're wondering, when is my time going to come? This is just a little encouragement to say, do not give up, keep going, because your time to go to the palace will come. So this is what you can do meanwhile. Yeah, number one, know that life is a numbers game. Yeah, if you've been punched by disappointment and your confidence is gone and you're feeling disappointed, it is okay to feel that way. But I'm praying that you will be encouraged again to get up and keep moving forward. Because out of 100 people you talk to, out of 100 opportunities, there'll be one. There will be 30 opportunities that are really good. Life is a numbers game. Yeah. Life is like a quest, like a video game where you have a quest and you have to overcome something. You get it wrong, you come back, you start again. But if you keep on going till the end and you overcome, then you won. Then you finish well, So yeah, another thing is that everything costs something. Some things cost 5 shillings, some things cost 10, some 20, some 1,000, some 5 million. But everything costs something, even in the spiritual world. Your dream costs something. And if it is going to touch lots of people's lives, if it's going to make a difference to the country and to other people, it's going to cost you a lot. Yeah, we've just seen the sacrifice the people have made, to see reforms and changes in our country. It is costing us something. And the blood that has been shed the last few days will not just go on like that. Something will happen because a price has been paid for it. And also, you might need to, pay a price of hard work. You might need to pay a price of fasting, praying, or consecrating yourself, doing something to focus on your dream. It is perfectly okay. Some dreams Joseph's dream took 13 years to be realized. Abraham took 90 years before he could get the son that he was promised. Somebody like John, he fasted all the time of his ministry. That was the sacrifice he has to give. Just ask, what is the sacrifice am I supposed to give for this dream to be fulfilled? and whatever comes up in your heart of hearts, do it. John the Baptist never ate all the time in his ministry. He ate locust and honey. That was fasting. And you know what that helped him to do? That helped pay for his publicity. He never spent a penny in newspapers and publicity, because people just, the angels or the Spirit of God, some invisible force just got people from the villages to the wilderness, to Jordan River, to listen to him and be baptized. So there will be a price to pay for each and every dream. So do not give up. And the bigger your dream, the more expensive it is. You've already paid enough, so do not give up at this time. And number 3, do the next best thing. We see David had a character of just giving his best. His father asked him to go and take the sandwiches, and he did. Potiphar asked him to run his household, and he did. Of course, he got in trouble doing those things, but it was just doing the next best thing. That's what took him to the palace where he was supposed to do. So you too, do the next best thing. What makes you angry? That's a sign of what you're called to fix. Just do the next best thing and keep moving forward. Number 4, trust the process. When Joseph called his brothers back because they'd stolen his silver cup, it was a setup anyway. We see Simon really crying and saying, "Whoever you find with the cup, let him die. You can kill him, and you can take all of us to be prisoners." And our hearts had changed. They were contrite. Joseph wanted to find out if they had changed, and yes, indeed they had changed. And they came and bowed down before him, and that fulfilled the dream that Joseph had way before he left home. And it led to Israelites being going to Egypt, and yes, they were killed and they were imprisoned. Like someone was saying, "Okay, you can kill whoever you find with the cup. You can kill them. You can imprison us." And that is what happened. Israelites were imprisoned for 400 years, and that was also exact same thing that God had told Abraham way before even the dad was born. That I'll give you descendants, and they'll be imprisoned in Egypt for 400 years, and I'll save them and I'll take them to the land of Canaan. And so the story of being rescued from Egypt into Canaan is the story of every Christian being rescued from sin to the promised land, to your calling. And it's the story of every country being saved from colonialism to being established. So all these things have been divinely written, divinely orchestrated, and the Bible is just an inspiration showing us the plan that God has. So every one of us has a little part that we're playing, but the grand plan will always remain the same. Yeah. So trust the process. It's gonna be okay. Trust the process. And number 5, you are not alone. You are not alone. This body you can see is just a suit that we are wearing, like astronauts, to help us stay grounded in this earth. But we are spirits. We're spiritual beings having a physical experience. The master plan gets downloaded from our spirits into the suits, into our minds, and then it happens. And if you're a Christian, you're even more powerful, because you not only have your spirit, but you have God's spirit as well. That's 2 spirits. And God's spirits, the Bible talks about 7 different types of spirits. Wisdom, knowledge, power, might, understanding, knowledge, all of the spirit. So you have a lot of support in the spiritual realm that are helping and supporting you in everything. Where you are right now, you've not brought yourself there. It's not been your mind that brought you there. Where we are as a country, it's not just our mind that has brought us there. It has been we've been divinely brought to where we are. And where we're going to go, we're going to be divinely taken there, and we're going to fulfill our destiny. So let's focus on the calling. There's a lot of distractions out there. There's lots of things happening, but let's focus. You might be saying that I don't even know what my calling is. This is the time to draw a line, a circle around you in the sand and say, I'm not leaving this circle until I know what my calling is. God, you have to tell me. Those are some kinds of prayers that always get answered. When you decide, I'm not stopping to do this until I know exactly what's happening. God listens to those prayers. But choose something that you are willing to do until you get the results. The Bible talks about ask, seek, and knock. Sometimes we ask and ask and ask and seek and knock, and then we ask again. No, do not come back to asking. Just get into knocking and knock until the door is open. And you will get your answer. And whatever your calling is, focus on it and give it your all. Yeah, and when you get it, do not ask for permission. Nobody will give you permission to be great. Yeah, what makes you angry? Whatever makes you angry, that's what you've been called to fix. Find it out and do it. Do not wait for permission to be great. Do not wait for permission to do what you're called to do. Whatever makes you angry is a clue to what you've been called to fix. Yeah. And lastly, you're 6 people away from greatness. 6 people away from anybody you've ever wanted to meet. And whoever you've been called to meet and impact the life, you're 6 people away from them. So whatever you're doing, do it nicely. Do it with a spirit of excellence, because you don't know whether that was the opportunity, that was your chance to shine and to move to the next level. And when you do these things, there is no way you will not fulfill your calling. There is no way you will not fulfill your destiny. So this is to the Josephs out there, that you might be in the pit at this time in your life. You might be in the prison at this time of your life. Whatever you are, do not give up. Keep on moving forward, and we will see amazing things happening, both in your life, both in the country. I hope you have a lovely evening, and God bless.